Hello and welcome to Coffee Chat with me, Jody Misiak. Today is our last episode in April, and it's going to be about our spirit. So grab your coffee, your tea, and come chat with me. I hope you are having an amazing April, and that you're really embracing the whole cleanse your life. And I'd love to hear how it's going so far. And today we are, like I said, talking about our spirit. What lights you up? What sets your soul on fire or like just makes you just go, it's amazing? One of the things for me is nature. Whenever I'm outside in nature and if I'm near water, it amplifies. I feel alive. Things just are flowing and I'm more creative. The other reason I want to talk about this one today, and we'll get into daily practice as well, because it is actually the fourth leg of the chair. And why I want to talk about our soul, though, or like our spirit, things that light us up, is when I was practicing self-care, I was constantly doing self-care, like probably for the body. So like I was working out, and mind a little bit, like I'd focus maybe on meditation, but mostly it was, I'll give myself a pedicure, I'll have a bath, I'll just anything taking time for me. And that is fine and dandy. But if it's not lighting you up, it probably isn't filling you up. So for instance, I was doing all that and I still felt worn out. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like myself. And I'm like, why? I'm spending, probably at least an hour a day for myself between napping, or actually maybe 2 hours if I include my napping. So it was mostly body. Oh, that was another thing for body actually, is napping. Napping is a good way to help our body recharge and just sleep in general, getting a good night's sleep. Anyways, I was spending like over an hour, 2 hours possibly, maybe even a little bit more. However, I still didn't feel connected to myself. I didn't feel excited about my life. I was like, what is going on? I'm doing all the self-care because I do try to do as much as I preach. I don't always follow through on what I share. Like you got to do this, and sometimes I fall off the wagon too. You just got to get back up. And but anyway, so I was doing all this stuff, and I'm like, why am I not full? I'm filling and I'm filling and I'm filling. But I was filling with the wrong things, or maybe not even the wrong things, the things that I didn't like. I kept like buying milk or whatever. Like I'm filling up like my cart with like milk. And what I really needed was like veggies, or whatever it may be, or like a variety. But the key thing I was missing was interaction with my husband outside the house. Like we both work from home, so we see each other, but we're not really with each other a lot. And then we have 2 young kids. So we needed to get out of the house, and we actually went on a date. Like I think it was after I felt like, what is going on? And we went out, grandparents came over, babysat the kids, and we went out for like lunch, and we had a good time. And I was like, that's what was missing. We just got to be, out just as husband and wife, partners, instead of, housemates and parents and workmates, because he helps me out with my business. And just, we finally got to just connect as 2 people in love. So if you feel like you're putting in a lot of self-care, or what people call self-care, but you don't feel like you're full, look at what you're doing. And that's why I say you really got to pick what you need to pick, like, or want to pick, because only you know what lights you up. And if you don't, this is a good time to go back to the mind and really do some meditation. Go for a meditation walk. Move the body. I find like sometimes, that's why I love meditation walks, because you're moving the body and you're still getting out in nature and things just flow better. Journaling's really good too. Really just get clear on what it is, or look at what you're doing. And if you're not loving it, what's missing in your life? I know a big one for me was, because our son wasn't sleeping through the night, like we really put a lot on hold. We didn't go out much. And now I call this like the wake after the storm, or like the wake, after the big ship came by and like tried to run us over. We're now picking up the pieces, and we still don't see our friends as much as I'd like. And it's really just reconnecting and building up those friendships again, or building up new ones. I've gone out to different networking groups and meeting other wonderful women that are like-minded, because I feel like that's something that's missing in my life, is really connecting with people that I can connect with on a deeper level, not just a, hey, how's the weather kind of thing, but a deeper, more fulfilling level. Level. And so it's just really getting clear on what you want. And it could even just start making a list. Maybe it's something you've been putting on hold, like a hobby. I know I put learning the guitar on my to-do list, or not on my to-do list, but my bucket list for so long. And I finally this year splurged and got myself a guitar and started doing lessons. And it's really just finding what lights you up. I was at a concert in March, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love music. Why is that not more part of my life? So like I said before, the mindfulness at the beginning of second week in April, where we talked about being mindful, that's also where that comes in, is just being mindful of what is missing, what is lacking, what do you want more of? And like I said, it's just really an ongoing process. Because like I said, I was at that concert. I was like, oh my goodness. And I haven't touched my guitar in like a couple weeks. I think it was 2 or 3. I was like, oh, I'm missing, that connection. I'm not anywhere close to good yet. And it's just really been teaching me some really things about patience and knowing that eventually I will get there. But it takes one step after another. And that's for anything in life. As being a parent, you kind of get tossed the responsibility of a little baby. However, when they're born, they really only need a couple things. One, love. They need to be fed. They need to be changed, and they need to, cuddle. That is part of love, and just really nourished. And then as they get older, they need more things. We have conversations with them. They have solids, you balance their diet, or lack thereof if they're picky eaters, and you grow into the parent life. You're not expected, I guess, unless you adopt somebody older, and then you are, that in case, thrown into the lion's den and really have to step up on your feet. But it's baby steps. You're learning as you go. You're building and growing as you go. And that is what life is about. So if you've been on the path of like filling yourself up, or not really filling yourself up, thinking you're filling yourself up, but not, like if you're not a bath person and you're like, oh, but this is self-care, I need to have a bath every week, you're not going to get the rewards that somebody that absolutely loves baths are going to get. It's finding, you can even Google self-care, and there's like a million lists out there, and you can look at it and just feel what lights you up, write it down. Or you can write them all down and then circle, or you can try them out and be like, oh, no, I do not like that one. Because we all are different. We all have different needs and wants. We all have different personalities. We're all at different stages on our journey, and that is okay. It's all about bringing your best self forward and loving yourself along the way. So if you don't know what it is that fills you up, I encourage you to make a list. Like just literally, I could rhyme them off forever, but you can just Google self-care and you'll find like a million ideas of self-care, and really just figure that out. And I really just get clear, and you could just see what your timetable, like what your schedule looks like. And maybe it's, you do one big thing a week, and then every other, like all the other days you do 10, 15 minutes for yourself, whatever it is that feels good to you. It really is about your schedule. This is not meant to stress you out more. It's meant to take a step back. And actually, I read a really interesting article about a month ago, and it was about self-care and how self-care is not what women need. It was not what moms need. What they need is support. And the fun thing is, Support is actually part of self-care. Support is going and asking for help. Now, I have actually had challenges in my life where I don't feel like we have the support we need. So my husband and I are really trying to work on figuring out how to repair that part, or not even repair, but just send that area of our life more love. So it's knowing that's like, okay, how can we build a tribe, a loving, supportive tribe again? Because we kind of lost sight of people when we went MIA, when we were in survival mode, when our son, in that second year of our son's life, where we just really retreated back and we're like, okay, we're on survival mode. We are literally treading in the ocean and no one is throwing us a lifeline. So we were our lifeline. Because one of the biggest things is, no one's coming to save you. You gotta save yourself. So support is necessary. And sometimes you don't have it, or you don't have as much as you'd like it. And it is part of self-care. So it's figuring out, how can you find support? Is it reaching out to other mothers in the neighborhood, which I've been working on? Is it, just getting advice from other people? Is it talking to your family and be like, hey, can you take the kids? Sometimes it doesn't work out either, those conversations. So get clear on what you want, what you need. Then you can look at your immediate family. Like how can they help you with your self-care needs? And then let's step into the daily practice. What I actually call my self-love practice. Because it's something that I try to do. Now I say this because I try. It's not about controlling the outcome, but I try to, bring myself forward, best self forward with this. And it's, what are the things I want to do daily to connect with myself, to grow? And even what I've been doing is listening to audiobooks. So what happens is my son really loves cuddles in the morning, and I'm still like not half asleep, but I'm still waking up. My body's still waking up after we got our daughter out the door. And we let him watch little cartoons in the morning, and I'm kind of done with the cartoons. So I put, an earbud in, and I listen to some audiobook while I'm cuddling and comforting and being with my son. So this way we can be connected, and we can still, so I'm nourishing my body, and I'm really starting off being motivated. So that has what's worked for me. It might not work for you. And then for me, it's incorporating meditation. And I'd like to really get back into tapping. I love tapping. Another one for me is actually even putting essential oils on as like a perfume in the morning. It just really just brightened my day. But it's just, I have these daily a routine that I've been following. And like I said before, I want to get to here, but I'm here. So it's building baby steps. And as I slowed down and realized that I can't do it all right away, I slowly stepped back and I did what I could. And then when I got to all I could do, then I learned that I could do more. And then I did more. And now I'm building up my self-love practice. It might take me a year or two, maybe even 5, to get to the practice that I love. And fully I'm like, yes, I am where I am. And I love it. And it really is embracing each step too. So I've really come into finally getting comfortable where I am. And then when you get comfortable with your self-love practice, and you can add more on if you want to, if you're perfectly fine where your self-love practice is, stick with it. Just for me, it's like, okay, I got there, I'm good. Now what else can I add on? Like I mentioned, we're going for daily walks now. And for me, I now have this really good eating routine of exactly when I eat and how I fit it in and things like that. And it's really good to fit in between my son's schedule and things like that. I'm sure things will change again once my son goes into daycare a little bit more next year. But it's really just figuring out what works for you and then building along the way. So you don't have to have a perfect self-love practice. And that's why I call it a practice. And that's why in the 4 chairs, it's called a practice, a daily practice, because we're practicing it, just like yoga. You're not designed to be like perfect. It's about practicing it and just being better than you were yesterday. So what? You forgot, you didn't do your meditation yesterday. That doesn't mean you can't do it today. Doesn't mean, like, it doesn't matter if you haven't worked out for months. You can start walking today, or whatever it may be that you've been putting off or that you've been beating yourself up after. Today is a new day, and that's all that matters. And if you do it today and then you don't do it tomorrow, give yourself a little hug, send yourself some love, like, I'm going to try better tomorrow. It's all about doing a little bit better than we did yesterday. Self-love practice is about loving ourselves, connecting with ourselves, so we can put our best self forward. Look at all the videos through April. I didn't put in as many things that you could do to create a self-love practice. However, if you need help creating a self-love practice, a little talk, I'm happy to get on the phone with you free. And I will put the link in the comments or in the description of the video. And you can call me. We can chat on the phone for like a half hour. Really, really connect with your self-love practice. Where do you want to go, and how are you going to get there? And we can really create a really amazing self-love practice for you. I hope this helped, and I hope you have the most amazing, beautiful day. Bye for now.